Hello and welcome to Everyday Eternal number 145, your favorite, most deceptively named bi-weekly legacy podcast. If you want to support the running of the show directly, you can support us on patreon.com/everydayeternal. The clowns are back in town. Guys, how's it going? How's the circus? Is everybody of you all right?
We're the monkeys.
Oh, that's the police. Sorry, not the clowns. I got confused there. Yeah,
Is that a band? No, the Arctic Monkeys.
Well,
okay,
I've never seen monkeys in a circus.
Yeah, right? That honestly, it would be pretty fucked up, honestly.
Yeah. I always see like elephants and giraffes and lions and things, but never monkeys.
You know how the biggest circus in Germany is Circus Krone? I don't remember. I think they still do animal shows, but
I mean, who doesn't?
Right. Yeah, I do animal shows in the
But also,
like
when was the last time you actually visited a circus?
15 years ago, I want to say, or something. But I didn't even pay for it. I don't think I've ever paid to go to a circus.
You were a baby 15 years ago. Actually, yeah. We were all babies 15 years ago. Obviously, we didn't pay for the entry.
No, the thing is, actually, I remember it was in 2003-ish, and my friend was dating this girl, and she invited him to go. But then he realized, it's not a date, but she's also bringing her sister and her friend's sister and everything. And then he invited all of us as well, because he thought it's going to be awkward. And then he dropped out, and now we went with this girl and her friends that we didn't even know.
Who the hell are you?
and that's how I met my first girlfriend.
We were told to wingman tonight. There's no wingman, so this is just us now. Here we go. Yeah. Anyway, Kai, what's up in Savatarik's town?
My day was kind of grim. So what happened is that I made a huge order for playmats with my new paintings. Basically, I had 3 different types. I was really satisfied with the design and all that, and I sent them over to a new printing company. Previously, the previous playmats I did, I was still in Japan, so I had a different shop where I sent those playmats, and they were fantastic. And now I tried out a different store in Germany, and basically they arrived today, and I got the worst playmats I've ever seen in my life.
No. Custom quality. How many did you order?
So I made an order for more than 60 playmats. So that's that's $1,500 approximately. I gotta elaborate what happened, right? Because maybe some of you listeners have already ordered a custom playmat or something like that, because most of the time those printing services, they give you the option to print 1 or 2 playmats. Maybe you want to give something out for a friend, or maybe you have a legacy gang or whatever you have, and you gotta have those playmats ready, right? So I know that every printing company has different printers, and sometimes those printers have certain, some printers print a little darker, lighter. They have less saturation, more blah 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 blah. It's all different, right? And I asked them, I printed playmats in the past, and what do you think? Are the playmats going to be less saturated or darker or lighter? And they told me that they're definitely going to be darker and less saturated. By the way, saturation means that a color is vibrant or not. And
we've heard about the concept of colors.
Yeah, and they told me that they're absolutely going to be darker and less saturated. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna just boost up the saturation and make the playmats way brighter than they are, so that the outcome is kind of neutral, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And what happened is that the playmats arrived, and they looked exactly like the files I sent them. So they're way too saturated and way too bright, and they'll actually look like dog shit.
Wait, do you have one? You can actually know.
I can show one in the camera right now. I mean, I don't know if you guys can,
I mean, if you're not posting them on Discord or on Twitter,
I won't. But basically, this one is way too yellow.
This looks like somebody pissed on your playmat.
Yeah, thank you. That was me. No, that was the printing company. No, but I seriously, when they arrived, I felt like pissing on them almost.
So have you talked to them already?
Yeah, so that's what I'm in between. So I sent them an email, said, hey guys, you told me specifically that they're going to be darker, blah, blah, blah. I even sent them the different types of files I had, the original one, and then the one I made specifically for this order. And now we got real deep to the German customer service account, support, whatever it's called, because they just sent me a 1-line text of, so how much did you boost it up? And I'm like, guys, that's not even the point. The point is that you guys didn't tell me the truth. anyway, so like I got really frustrated today. So I went to the gym. I worked out really hard for 2 hours. Felt really good about myself later. Then I had like the unhealthiest meal ever, which was 2 burgers. So like why the hell did I even work out? But yeah, that was my day. So any advice for anyone who's also thinking about like printing playmats and things? Please don't copy my mistake. I hope that I can like somehow like return this order and get like new ones. But gosh.
You know how it's gonna work? Like once you're gonna be really big, those are gonna be like the thought after misprints, right? I mean, you know how Visions has like the darker ones and the brighter. Actually, nobody cares about like a darker and brighter prints of Magic cards. That's one of those things that nobody ever really cared.
You're trying to make him feel better about it, though.
I mean, that was a
yeah. I guess the lesson is get a sample.
Thank you,
like,
Dad.
Get one made first.
I should have totally done that.
It's very helpful advice now. I know.
Speaking of,
well, hopefully they'll sort you out.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure it out somehow. But you know what? That reminds me. There's like this infamous set called Summer Magic, which is exactly that, right? Like it's a.
Do your playmats also say like 1994 on the bottom?
Summer
playmat. Oh gosh, I don't even know what's so special about those Summer Magic cards, but I know that they're crazy expensive and only a few people have them. And even basics are.
They basically were throwing them out, and a couple of people picked them up from the trash, and that's how they survived until this day, and that's why they're so rare.
Oh, that's awesome. So I'm gonna throw out all the playmats out of the window, and whoever catches them is gonna like resell them for like $1,000 or something. Dude, that's a real business plan.
And then you'll be like, oh, why didn't I keep some?
I should try the same. Like, can you give me the address of the company?
No, I should like,
Infinite money glitch.
I should throw them out and just pick them up myself and go like, hey, dude, I picked them up.
Yeah. Okay. Callum, how's it going for you? How's London?
It's okay. I was going to be a bit doom and gloomy, like, oh, I've had a crazy week at work, and well, it's nothing compared to you two. You've actually got real problems.
Oh, do I? Oh, no,
I'm going through a bit of a stretch of like. No, everything's good here. One of the guys at work's been off, who I usually cover, and it's been intensely busy, so it's just been tiring. Nothing too badly. I'm in a bit of a period of like Warhammer events every single weekend for the last few weeks, and this weekend is Warhammer Fest, which is a huge thing in Manchester. So I've been kind of just not playing as much Magic recently and practicing for that and stuff like that. So
still waiting for that hopefully Q3 when Chaos Defiler is going to have Magic Online. Dude, seriously, like when they phrased it as quote unquote hopefully Q3, I was like, dude, this is going to be like December or something.
Yeah, quarter past December.
I'm like, actually, on that note, like I'm just playing a lot less of Magic Online, and I don't even want to play Painter or Magic Online, and it's getting really frustrating talking to people about the decks. I'm just like, yeah, in paper you'll play this, Magic Online you'll play this, and then when you're having a conversation in Discord, and then someone says, oh yeah, but I play this, and then you're like, well, do you play Magic Online or do you play paper? And it's just so much back and forth, and it's just putting me off playing the game, honestly. Like, it's not to the extent where I'll actually stop, but it's just I'm getting a bit
from what I can totally see that, right?
Yeah,
I'm having the same kind of conversation with a friend of mine every time we talk about something. He's like, why are you not playing this? And I'm like, dude, this is first of all not available, and second of all, Meta and Magic Online. Everybody like runs Emrakul and stuff. But anyway,
you guys, you know what I wish? Like every time I hear those kind of stories from you guys, I feel like we gotta like invent something that can basically record. I guess it's simply like a mic. We need to record whatever we said about a deck, and then we can like replay it to whatever person is asking the same question, because I think like it happens a lot at Magic events where people discuss decks and strategies and so on, and like at least 20 times about the same topic throughout the whole day, right? And I wish I could just repeat myself clicking that button.
Dude, you can truly do that, right? You put some kind of I don't know app on your phone where you have like 10 buttons and it plays different pre-recorded sound bits.
Yeah.
But somebody's like, Kai, so should I play like Personal Tutor Turbo Doomsday, or should I play like Doom Power and stuff? You're like, click, blah 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 blah. Like you come back 10 minutes later, and it's like, okay, thank you so much.
Right.
And then your phone is gone.
This is why you write a deck guide, right?
I mean, like you can't hand a deck guide to someone who's literally standing in front of you at an event, right? It's like, here's a deck guide.
Oh yeah.
Piss off. You can't say that.
No, I did that. I did that at Four Seasons. Justin Gennari came up to me like the day before Legacy, says, hey Callum, I'm going to play Painter for the first time. You have any advice for me? I'm like, click. I sent him the Google Doc for my guide, and then he top 8 the next day.
Ooh, you must have gotten like a really big share.
You need to have You do need to have some time to look at it. But
But Justin is smart enough to understand that, right? That you can't give him like the rundown in like 2 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Man, Caleb, I never want to talk to you ever again. I only want to get those like handouts and links and things from you about anything.
Just write some like cards. Just like, I'm X and 2, don't talk to me.
But speaking of Magic Online, like being weird compared to paper right now, it's insane how many paper tournaments we are getting. Like, I pretty much kind of predicted this, that like the local scenes would like flourish again, like post-COVID and everything. But I guess that wasn't that hard to predict. But we're getting so many local tournaments that I literally cannot keep track of them anymore. Like people on Monday message me, oh, I went to this tournament, I went to this tournament, I went to this tournament, all within like, let's say 2 hours of Munich or something. Like, dude, I've never heard about this tournament. And that now there's even a new one coming up in, I think Landsberg am Lech or something, that I might go to on Sunday that I never heard before. And there's supposed to be something in Ulm, but that's something for a different podcast because it's actually kind of funny. They just like decided, okay, we are going to be the German Legacy Championships. And it feels like it's just a normal local event. But let's talk about that in another episode when we have more infos about that event, because I still find it quite funny. What I want to talk about quickly is, in speaking of LGSs, I heard the weirdest story. So there's an LGS, well, I'm not going to try to dox them because I only have like half the information here. And they have basically, like, they allow EDH players. So they have like EDH players at the shop, like most shops do, and those EDH players play with proxies, like not counterfeit cards, like straight up proxies.
That's the first mistake, allowing EDH players. I'm joking.
And now there's another shop, literally, I want to say like 4 hours away or something. And they threatened to sue that LGS because they are allowing proxies, because they are saying, oh, the player base is now gravitating towards your shop and not my shop, and this is like costing me business, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, what the fuck, guys? Are you for real?
That is crazy, first of all.
It's not going to go anywhere. Like, it's so ridiculous. But back in the day, you would just be a normal scumbag and report them to Wizards of the Coast, and they'd send the Pinkertons around and cut off your hands or something. But now, like, it's so much more normalized.
Yeah, all I know is that in order to become a WPN store, you have to follow like certain rules to apply for such a status, because I think once you are a WPN, and I'm no expert by any means, but I think you get like special like bonus treatments, like early access to, I don't know, like products and but maybe more products, stuff like that. But it is crazy hard to achieve that WPN standard, because like your store has to be super clean, like nice tables, has to be a decent amount of lights, blah blah blah, but also the exclusion of anything that is not official, basically, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I was wondering, because apparently there's like no proper guidance from Wizards about how to handle this, because whenever you look it up, and even like Saffron Olive like talked about that, and he sent me an article from Wizards from 2016, which for all we know is the last time they really spoke on this, and that one specifically like says it's about EDH. Wizards of the Coast has no desire to police playtest cards made for personal, non-commercial use, even if that usage takes place in a store. So I would think, unless you run a sanctioned EDH tournament and it's just EDH open play, I think proxies are completely fine. But yeah.
It's I think purposely a gray area. So we had a few things on this topic. Like, so Kai, you're right. You a WPN store gets like promos and stuff. This happened with where we play our Legacy on Tuesdays. When we started up after COVID again, it was proxies allowed, and then he wanted to become a WPN store, which worked, and so we stopped allowing proxies for that. But he gets like loads of prizes for FNMs and drafts, and he got sent one of those anniversary boxes, like worth $1,000 and stuff. So you do get things out of it and stuff. So I can see why stores do want to be WPN, so they get a maybe cheaper product as well. I'm not sure. But on this note, there's a big store in Wales. Like, it's very, very big. I think it's going to be one of the biggest WPN ones in the UK. And they were going to put on some similar to the London events, like Proxies Allowed, Local Legacy kind of thing. And they had Wizards say, like, if you run this, we're going to take away your WPN status, full stop. And they tried to talk to them, tried to not bargain, but like try and come to some agreement. But Wizards just like didn't reply straight up. So the guy, the people I know who put these events on, they talked to me about it. And I just said, yeah, like the store can't run the thing. They can't risk that. So they had to like change store. They had to find a little pub brewery to just change to the night before the event and stuff like that. but Wizards just flat out sent them one email, said cease and desist, and then that was it. And this was in the last couple of years. So,
yeah, but that was about an event, right? But I'm talking about like casual open play that's like not sanctioned or anything.
Yeah, this is why I'm saying it's a grey area, because like here it says Wizards of the Coast has no desire to police Playtest cards made for personal, non-commercial use, even if the usage takes place in a store. But like, I get that it's an event, but it's non-sanctioned, not on event link. It's something completely different to Wizards of the Coast. Like, if this was run in a pub, it's still the same process of like, you know, using playtest cards and stuff. It's not sanctioned. It's not, you know, officially Wizards. But yeah,
basically what I'm reading from this is that it's not a gray area, because it's like if you read the entire article, of course you can't do that right now, they specifically talk about how like you can never have any kind of proxy playtest card, whatever, in an event, but just like people casually playing with proxies in a store, which is basically EDH, unless, like I said, you run an event, then I can totally see why you wouldn't be allowed. That literally Wizard says that's cool, and that's why it's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, I still think like there's a sentence here saying fans use playtest cards to test out new deck ideas before building out a deck for real and bring it to a sanctioned tournament. Like for me, playing it in another event that's not sanctioned, trying out new ideas.
It's not an event in the first place. Like to me, event equals sanctioned, and non-event equals unsanctioned.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, that's my reading of it.
So LLM is not an event, and this event in Wales was not an event because it was not going to be sanctioned. It was just in a store that has a WPN status.
Oh, I see. You're saying it was unsanctioned. Okay, so is that because they, like you mentioned, they have that WPN status or something?
Yeah, so the store has WPN status. The event was run there before. It was never sanctioned, always proxies allowed, had no intention of being sanctioned, but Wizards told them to cease and desist.
So basically that article only tells half the story. So if you are a WPN store,
yeah.
Okay. I mean, I can see how that puts WPN stores at a disadvantage towards like normal stores, but I mean, it all seems to be within the policy of Wizards. Like if that other store is not a WPN store, I mean, we're already like reaching for information because we don't have that about that shop. But actually, I know that the other shop is not.
I think it's not clear.
I would know if they were.
You should also not underestimate like how much of a bonus it is to become a WPN store. I think like so many stores are trying literally everything to be to get that status, because like it's kind of like an achievement, or like a rank in like between stores also, like if you can call yourself WPN or not.
I know, but I'm saying that's like a totally different conversation, right? Because what I find so weird is that one store wants to sue the other store. Like they have like no legal ground for anything here.
I just think
that no. Back to the actual question.
I think they should
ridiculous.
just get together after work and just get a beer or two, and it's gonna be good. You're all humans. We can talk about this.
Game of EDH together. It'll go really well.
Honestly, if you want my actual opinion, from what I've heard, which stores are involved, I think one of the stores is literally just like talking shit and trying to like, intimidate the other and be like, oh, we're going to come after you and we have no idea what we're going to do.
I bet there's something more that's like one of the stores stole like a Thursday Modern Night or a scene or like something like that. They took some of their customers. And it could be like the fact that whatever this store is doing something so ridiculous, like threatening to sue. My assumption then is this: they're a shitty store, and there's a better store further away, or whatever, and everyone's like, "Let's go to the better store." And then the shitty store is like, "Why are you stealing our players?" And it gets even more shitty. But this is jumping.
Yeah. And the weird part is like the other store is also like 4 hours away, and you're like, "What the fuck, guys? Like, can't you get along? Yeah. Like, what is this shit?" Anyway,
it's one of these stories that you hear about. It's funny to laugh about, and then nothing happens to the stores, and nothing happens, and it's just like. You guys are silly.
That's what I expect, right? That's what I very much expect.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Exactly.
In other really, really awesome big news, Kai, we are going to Spain. Viajar a España.
Yeah. I started like learning how to count in Spanish.
Oh, how deep can you count?
Oh, like to 3. That's I stopped at 3. I'm gonna do 4 to 6 tomorrow, maybe.
Okay. You're getting deep. You're getting deep.
1, 2, and 3. Yeah. God damn it.
I'm so proud of you. Like, I think my little niece can actually count further than you.
Spoiler alert, though, I have never been to Spain, which is crazy. Given that I lived almost like 20 years in Germany, or like in Europe. I've never been to any part of the Spain. I didn't even know how Spain looks like, honestly.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, no, dude. I had like no idea, but I'm really stoked now. Like I've been to Italy like a million times, but I've never been to Spain, which is really. Well, has there ever been a Legacy GP in Spain? Because I can't.
Yes, 2010 Madrid.
Oh, God damn it. I was a baby back then.
It was at the time, it was the largest ever, 2,228. In the first 3 rounds, they didn't have enough chairs. Some people had to play standing up.
No way. Are you kidding me?
Look at Julian be able to just like rattle off like how many players there was.
It was my first GP ever. And I had 3 buys, so I didn't have to play standing up. That was amazing. Oh, I have so many good memories of that place.
That is insane.
They've done lots of big GPs in Bilbao as well, I think. Right?
They must have. I think
remember.
the Barcelona and the Madrid GPs are always like super popular.
God damn it.
From what I understand.
But yeah, this is cool. I was planning to come to Impact Returns until I have other plans at the same time now. Actually, the joke is I tried to come, but they're like, nope, Callum, you're not good enough. We're getting the 2 best hosts, right?
So yeah,
you can argue about that, but yeah.
So the reason we're talking about this as something special, we're not only going there to Impact Returns in the northwest Galicia of Spain to be there, but Kai and I are actually going to be commentating, right? We're going to be commentating the Legacy events. There's going to be the Spanish Legacy Nationals on Friday. There's going to be the big Legacy event on Saturday. And I think there's going to be a really big Modern event. I think the Modern event, last time I checked, they were close to like 300 players at the last instance of the event. And this year, it's the 10-year anniversary of Impact Returns. And dude, I've been so excited for this. Runkor, who ran the 4 Seasons stream last 2 times, or maybe more often, he's involved with organizing this. And when we were in Bologna, like we started talking like, hey, we want to promote this event. And like I could even imagine just like flying out there as a commentator because it was so much fun for me at 4 Seasons. And yeah, long story short, Kai and I were going there from the 7th to the 9th. The events are going to be on. Kai, I think you're also going to have like a booth, right?
Yeah. First of all, I'm super, super honored to have this chance to be live on the stream together with you, Julian, because like you and I, like we kind of we know what's going on, like we gotta figure it out,
Hopefully.
I'm super stoked on this.
Famous last words.
And yeah, you're right. I'm gonna be there covering the Friday Spanish Legacy Nationals and the Saturday Legacy main event with you. But on Sunday, I'm gonna be doing something different. I'm gonna be at the same location, but instead of the commentator booth, I will be at my own booth, the Salatorix booth, where people can directly challenge me and where I sell tokens and my new stickers and hopefully my new playmats that are not that don't.
This is free money, everyone.
Yeah,
this is going to be July in Spain. Everybody's going to be wearing sunglasses. So like even if they are super bright, your playmats, they're just going to look normal under sunglasses. Yeah, just like you should like this is special Kai style.
Yeah, just leave them on like for the rest of your life. But yeah,
especially inside.
So I'm not gonna be playing any events there. But again, like talking to a bunch of people, and hopefully on Sunday I can connect with as much people as possible. And whenever you guys got a minute or or maybe 10 left or so, just stop by, say hi, and maybe we can get some games done. And in preparations for that, because of the direct challenge, I also bought a new legacy deck, like an entire new legacy deck, which is completely off anything that I've ever done in Legacy so far, because for the last 10 years I've only cast Brainstorms and Ponders, and now I picked up my very first non-Brainstorm, non-Ponder deck. Guys, guess it.
The baby's growing up.
Thank you.
Whoa, this is really hard to figure out. Like, it's not gonna be Death in Texas for sure.
Dude, I'm never gonna play a Thalia.
You kind of played Elves for a while, but I guess you didn't really own the deck.
Now I do.
Oh, it's Elves?
Yeah, dude.
You're gonna be playing
Elves.
It's Elves, dude. It's Elves, and I love it. Like Glimpse of Nature, dude. I'm in love with Glimpse of Nature. That's like Ancestral Recall on steroids.
Dude,
yeah.
I love how we like basically.
So is this where I need to pick up a Dark Ritual?
I was gonna say because
Julian's come to Painter, Kai's come to Elves, and I need to go and get a Dark Ritual.
Yeah, you better hurry, dude.
Yeah, I hear Heartless Summoning is really
good. Oh well, you know what? I swear to God, I just finished building Cephalid Breakfast like 2 days ago.
Oh no, you're kidding me, dude.
So we're going around.
Oh, dude, I want to see you playing elves. Like, also, like, the funniest thing to me is whenever I watch somebody playing elves, they later tell me, did I do this right? Did I do that right? I'm like, dude, I didn't really watch that closely. Oh, dude, that
you could just do random stuff and
yeah, exactly. That's amazing, dude. I'm excited to see you in action. So people can come to you and they're gonna have like 4 main deck plague engineers and everything.
Yeah, and that's when I switched to Doomsday or Cephalid Breakfast. I'm gonna have like that's the reason why I bought the deck in the first place, right? I'm gonna have 2 decks ready for Legacy, and then I'm gonna choose one of them at random, so that people gotta have like 4 plague engineers and 4 archive traps in their main
opposition agent. No, if anyone wants to beat Kai, play the mono black stompy deck. So you got like main deck plague engineers and opposition
That's
agents.
Actually quite brutal. Yeah. Okay.
So maybe we should quickly go over how you can actually come to Impact Returns, because Impact Returns is taking place in Narón, which is a suburb of A Coruña. That's, like we said, in the very northwest in Galicia of Spain. And the easiest way to get there is you fly to A Coruña. You can also fly to Santiago de Compostela. And from there, I think from A Coruña, it's like really not far, right? I think we're getting picked up, and that's the easiest way to get there. There should be a lot of international flights going there. And yeah, then you are in the place where you can win 4 invites to the European Legacy Masters. The crew of the Spanish ELM, they have put together an overview, and like you can win 1 slot in Barcelona, 1 slot in Bilbao, 1 slot in what the fuck? Who wants this? Sorry, Arcanist Project. I love you guys. I have no idea what this is. It's probably near Santander or something. Sevilla and Madrid, and all of those have 1 slot. Narón Impact Returns has fucking 4 slots. So if you want to qualify like 3 times in a row, like just go there and like, I guess you would need to top 8 twice, the same event twice to accomplish that. But come there, hang out with us. I'm actually going to go to Portugal on a 1-week vacation afterwards. That's something I'm super excited for. Never been to Portugal. Heard so many good things. So that's my first time for me. Kai, have you ever been to Portugal?
No, not yet.
well, what is Portugal? What? You remind me of Czech Grealish. Have you ever heard of Czech Grealish?
Is that next to Portugal?
No, yeah, close enough. He's an English footballer. He was like, I think a year ago, he was bought by Manchester City for 100 million euros.
Oh, God damn it.
And the guy is lovely, but stupid as a rock. Like literally, they had a show where footballers had to guess which part of England their teammates were from. And then they put him in front of a map. And to prepare, they told him to show on the map, like stick something in, which city he's from. And then he kept looking at this and he kept looking at this. And they were like, yeah, which part of England are you from? And he was like, is this England?
Oh, dude. I think he and I, we have something in common.
This is how I imagine you. But you weren't bought for 100 million. At least
holy
not
smokes.
that I know of.
Holy smokes.
Oh, dude.
But yeah, it's crazy packed at the whole schedule, like, and you know guys, there is the obviously it's the Legacy main event on Saturday and so on, but there's also like a big gigantic modern main event, and also there are some other formats, like you can play Pioneer or pre-modern, even Vintage at one of those events. It's gonna be maybe like a small mini GP of some sort, you know. I'm really stoked about it.
Yeah, the vibe I get is it's like a real eternal focus thing, right? So I've looked into going a couple of times in the past, and now they're doing pre-modern as well. I think it's going to be like, there's always a big modern event to go along with these kind of like Legacy weekends, similar to Four Seasons, and modern probably will be the biggest, but you'll have tons of people to play like the Vintage and pre-modern as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, those events are also like scheduled, right? They're not like pickup. They also have like 8-man pickup events, right? Player pickup events. But here they have like literally scheduled pre-modern, Vintage, Pioneer events. Like when we talk about like how crazy Italy is about Legacy or Eternal Magic in the first place, I guess that still holds true. But I think like Spain is almost up there. Like it's really up there. Like the dedication they have in Spain for playing Legacy and putting on events. I think we often don't even hear that much about it. Like I remember when they used to have the, oh god, what was it called? Like League Catalan something in Barcelona, which always had like these amazing tournaments. And it kind of flew under the radar. And I hope we can like put this one out, because in the past they only had, I believe, Spanish commentary. And this year is going to be the first time that we're actually going to do proper English commentary. At least we try to.
Heck yeah.
Let's send the 2 guys who are not native English speakers. Awesome.
Also,
well, I'm gonna tune in.
Also, like
sure. I'll watch you. I'll heckle you.
Also, I'm super excited to get to know more Spanish Magic players in general, because Dude, like I know about Rodrigo Togores and I know about Javier Dominguez and Roncor, and that's about it almost. Like but given those numbers, they must have like a crazy big Magic scene in general, like even for like Eternal Magic. And yeah, I just want to find out what's behind those numbers. Really.
Yeah, and you will love Spain. Like honestly, if I had to move to some place and live there, I think Spain would be at the very top of my list. I don't know. I'd always get like that amazing vibe. Like we all love Italy, and I think you love Italy even more. To me, I think it's gonna be Spain. I don't know. I love it.
Cool.
So yeah, 7th to 9th of July, fly to A Coruña or fly to Santiago de Compostela. I also looked up some train connections. I think if you fly to Santiago, I guess you can also do like the pilgrimage to the church and like pray for good RNG or something, if that's how it works. And yeah, let's make this event as big as we can. I think the last Legacy event was close to 200. The last Modern event was close to 300. Let's crack those numbers.
Heck yeah.
Awesome. So moving on, we have, does this qualify as a new deck in the format? This is the first time Faerie Mastermind has been legal in a big event on Magic Online, and Ozymandias 17-2. Actually, what's the style guide on the pronunciation? 172. Anyway, we don't know. Top 8. Actually, no, won the event, right?
He won.
I wanna call it like blue-white mid-range, but I guess there's also a red splash, so it's like blue or Cheskai. But even though the main deck is super blue-white, this is.
The main deck is pure blue-white.
I guess I'm going to go over the deck list. It's going to be 20 lands, 4 Swords to Plowshares, 4 Prismatic Ending, 4 Brainstorm for Ponder, 2 Spell Pierce, 2 Dress Down, 4 Faerie Mastermind, 3 Snapcaster Mage, which is another card we haven't seen in a while, 6 Forces, 3 Narsets, 2 Teferi Time Reveler, 1 The Wandering Emperor, and another a Timeless Dragon, and then basically everything you would expect in a sideboard out of a Cheskai deck, like your Meltdowns, Blasts, Surgicals, Hydroblasts. Fucking is it Staticaster? Oh, come on. I hate the card so much. And yeah, he
well, you heard that Kai's picking up elves.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna love it.
I'm gonna drop
it looks like he actually crushed that event. Like this like, I don't know why. You know how I'm not a fan of control decks, but this doesn't really give me a strong control vibe. I don't know. Maybe
yeah,
it should be.
Like the deck doesn't really look like it has a strong finisher of any kind.
Well, the Wandering Emperor kinda is, right?
Yeah, it's like the Entreaty Angels of 2022.
That's a good way to put it.
But like Faerie Mastermind pretty much looks kind of similar to like Vendilion Click and those like old blue-white mid-range / control decks. 4 is a pretty bold number, and I don't know how much this deck can like abuse the Mastermind ability. Definitely, this deck definitely doesn't run out of cards.
It's like a combo with Narset.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good with Narset.
Yeah, you just like activate it on their turns. You draw a card, they don't, and then the Faerie will be replacing itself as well when it flashes in against lots of things. Like the format has tons of card draw, like not on cantrips as well. So like playing against loads of Baleful Strix decks, or like Staff of the Storyteller, or Fable of the Mirror Breaker, or 8 casts with their Bulbuls. Like there's so many things in the format that draw cards, even Elvish Visionary. Like I think Faerie Mastermind just replaces itself so easily. And then, it's a threat. It's a 2-1 flying and flash. Like, you leave up your Snapcasters and your Swords and your Spell Pierces. And then later game, like it's you activate it with a Narset in play and you're going to get even more card advantage. And if a removal spell is played on it, it's usually replaced itself, and only for 2 mana as well. I think the card is just really good.
Yeah,
I remember Ozymandias, I think, tweeted. Actually, I could just open the tweet. It's there. I'm pretty sure he mentioned that it was one of the best cards since like when he played the tournament. Let me check that. Mastermind and Snapcaster were great. I never felt like I needed a Basic Mountain. See, that's my man. Dude, Basic Mountain is just like Trading Rears. Nobody needs that. This is, yeah, dude, actually, I just noticed the deck is also called Cheskai Tempo. So he hasn't even saved it under control, even though I guess it might just be like a random leftover from another deck. But yeah, this feels a lot more tempo-ish than like a proper control deck with like chases and shit.
Yeah. I two comments on this. I think like first of all, I love how Yuta Takahashi World Champion is finally in a legacy deck. That's good. What sucks though is that the card is in the wrong deck. It should like, I was so hyped to see like legacy fairies, like after like a 10-year break or something like that, and now people just like just jam it in instead of whatever stuff of the Storyteller, and
it could be like Spellstutter Sprites not that bad.
I'm just saying, like, give me those Bitter Blossoms back and
well.
Spellstutter Sprites, dude. I'm here for it.
Man, Bitter Blossom has not aged well. That card is pretty weak.
It doesn't even see play modern.
The biggest problem of Bitter Blossom is that it's in black. I could actually see it being played in blue, kind of. I don't know. I mean, it's still not good enough, but it would be a lot more playable. I mean, yeah. there are better cards, but...
I mean, yeah. I mean, come on, Kai, be the change you want to see and build fairies.
Do Fairy Doomsday or something like that. Like, I'm gonna do the Mastermind thing first, and then I'm gonna, we're gonna both draw a card, right? So I'm gonna dig into my Doomsday pile a little bit, just a tiny bit.
No. That card is gonna be so annoying to play against.
What we are seeing is in Legacy right now, we have so many different Tundra-based decks. Like, so we see this, and I think this deck is good. We see more dedicated stuff, the Storyteller decks. We see Julian's favorite 4 or 5 color Anurag piles with Uro and stuff. We're seeing Fable be played in them finally. I think we've said it a bunch in the past, Fable probably should be played more in these decks, but now Staff helps it as well. There's probably more as well. There's just a ton of different and, in my opinion, viable tier 2 plus ways to play kind of brainstorm Source Splashes decks. It's pretty interesting.
So is this something you would be excited about picking up? Callum, I know you've recovered from your blue-white deck times, but...
Yeah, I would be. I have a really weird bias where I love straight blue-white decks. Yeah. And I'll say that this is blue-white. Sideboard is different. I can have red cards in the sideboard. I hate Jeskai decks. Something icky about them. I can't explain it. And I never really liked 4-color very much. Unless they were Deathrite or Mana Dork kind of.
Let the hate flow through.
But straight blue-white, I still love.
Whenever I see straight blue-white, I'm like, oh, is this going to be some kind of back to basics shit? Yeah.
I mean, first of all, it looks pretty beautiful.
Yeah. I don't find Haymakers fun either. Back to basics, and I hate the Narsets here, but I realize that it's a really good card and it works with Faerie Mastermind. But I love Snapcaster Mage, Faerie Mastermind, Dress Down, Spell Pierces. I love that kind of playstyle. So
I'm actually looking up how expensive Faerie Mastermind is right now. It's €7, €8, something like that. Okay, there's apparently 4 different printings. I'm not even going to pretend I know which one is which. It's just March of the Machines Extras.
I think it's going to be good in
March of the Machines promos, March of the Machines promos version 2. This is ridiculous.
That's just normal now, I think.
Yeah, it's just there's only 4 versions. So my sweet summer child. Okay.
I was just closing off saying I'm excited to see if Faerie Mastermind goes in any other decks and stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe it goes into some sideboards, but I love seeing it actually making an impact on the main deck because I think that's where it's the strongest, because then it conserves sideboard slots, which is something I'm addicted to. I love sideboard slots. When I come home, I just I take out my sideboard and look at the sideboard oh, so many sideboard slots. Oh, that's so good. Yes, show me more sideboards. There's few things that can get me as excited as looking at a really strong, powerful sideboard. So speaking of awesome tech coming out of Japan, we just had the, I believe, 22nd God of Legacy tournament go down in Tokyo.
That's right.
And for those who don't know, a quick rundown is the God of Legacy is a person. There's literally a person who's reigning over Legacy in Japan. And every quarter, they have a tournament where they crown the runner-up, the challenger. So you have, in this case, 239 players playing for a chance to challenge the god.
That's right.
Which is the most fucking flavorful thing ever. And if you become the god, then for the next quarter, I think they put up your picture, right, in the tournament hall or something. And for the next quarter, you play all Legacy events for free. You don't pay entry, which is
you play any event, any Magic event for free.
Not even Legacy.
You can play drafts and things. I think that's how it even works for drafts. But yeah, any tournament.
There would be some people who would totally abuse this over here. Dude, sign up to every draft drop in the first round.
Yeah, I would probably just move to the store, just with my blanket, and you just grind every day. So good. And also if you play so much Magic tournaments for free, you also have a decent chance to keep that title because you played so much Magic that you got a lot of reps. You know what's going on, and love it.
Yeah. So in this case, we had the winner of the Challenger tournament, and that was Takahashi Hirota. Was that good, Kai?
Wait, hold on.
Would you agree?
Say again?
Takashi, not Takahashi. Oh, I'm so bad.
Hirota Takashi. So he used a deck which is not very common in Europe, I want to say, or the States, but it is pretty much like one of the most loved archetypes in Japan, which is like, you know, a rock or maybe Jeskai colored like mid-range deck, right? It's not Delver. It's a little slower than that. It plays also like the good slow stuff like Uro and maybe some Planeswalkers. It is rock mid-range featuring like Tarmogoyfs and Uros in there, but it's still like a little bit of like a stifle wasteland deck, and you know, it does a little bit of this and that. And I also saw like the interviews, and that guy literally picked up the deck, I think like a day before the tournament, because he doesn't really play a lot of Legacy, which is really wild to me, how someone who doesn't really play a lot of Legacy just picked up a deck like this and just, you know, just crushed the whole tournament. And he became the god after that, because he defeated the current god 3-0, and the current god was on a 4-color Yorion deck, which I believe is pretty tough matchup for a rock mid-range deck, you know, because the Yorion deck is, again, a little slower and bigger than you. But you gotta rewatch those games. Still beautiful.
Like, he won 3-0 in the finals, right?
Yeah, dude.
How does it work? Do you play like a best of 5 with like 2 match games like unsideboarded and then 3 sideboarded?
Exactly. All on camera. Okay. You have 2 pre-board games. You have 3 sideboard games. You know each other's deck list, but you know them. Actually, do you? No, maybe you don't. Maybe you know after the event. But the current god has to submit the deck list before the new challenger tournament starts. So you as the god, you really don't know what deck's gonna be way up there to challenge you. So the Yorion 4-color player had 2 containment priests in the main board, so for example, and which was a master read, I think, because if you look at the metagame breakdown, the 2 most played decks at the God of Legacy on Saturday were Reanimator and Sneak and Show. That is like, dude, that was crazy to me. Like how someone had such a big read on the metagame, because I would have never guessed that Reanimator and Sneak and Show were like number 1 and number 2, the most played decks.
So wait, you're saying that person played 4-color Control? Oh yeah, there are just 2 copies of Containment Priest in the main. Yeah, holy shit, dude.
You got a lot of slots though.
Yeah, like the rest of the deck.
This is something that Japanese players just do quite regularly, and I think there's a weird thing where, and I'm going to say Europeans here, like almost too proud in a way to do something so divergent in case it goes wrong, and then you look really stupid. Whereas this is just genius, really. Like, and Sneak and Show is pretty popular at these that I can understand as well.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, amazing.
Oh yeah, and then speaking of the 4-color list, it's actually not like what I would call like Anorak pile. This is 4 copies of Staff of the Storyteller. I don't know if he actually picked it up as well. 2 copies of Leyline Binding, 2 copies of Prismatic Ending, 4 Swords, of course, 2 Minor Misstep, and then only 7 Planeswalkers, like 3 Minsk, 2 Teferi, 2 Narset, and 3 copies of Terminus. I could actually see how this deck, I mean, wouldn't have the best matchup. Like usually when you talk about like 4-color Control against like rock mid-range, we would certainly agree that 4-color Control is in a better spot. But this also has like a lot of cards that's just like trade 1 for 1. Like what's actually your card advantage? I guess Library and Staff of the Storyteller.
Right.
And then Minsk is like the big thing, but that's also going to be hard to resolve, especially against there are spell pieces in right?
Here's this thing about Silver Library, right? Like, you know, if you have like a 4-color Yorion deck with Silver Library, and then a slightly faster, like we're still talking like Tarmogoyf, Dragonflight Channeler, Uro type of like mid-range fast teamer deck. Like you can, like how you use Silver Library is completely different, I think. Like the Tarmogoyf, Dragonflight Channeler player can easily draw 8 every single turn, while the Yorion player, well, not every time, right? Like you gotta be careful about your life totals, and like that's exactly what happened in like I think the 3rd game or so, where there was a Silver Library and the Yorion player just really didn't have the capacity to draw extra cards because there was so much. Like Tarmogoyf was no joke. Tarmogoyf looked so good versus Endurance. Holy crap, that was insane.
Yeah, we talked about Tarmogoyf in the last 2 episodes, right? How he's back and he's mean and he wants revenge.
Yeah. Also, one thing about Tarmogoyf, I think when we talk about Tarmogoyf, we always think of Tarmogoyf as a 4/5. That was like the default for Tarmogoyf back in the day. Now it's rather common that Tarmogoyf is a 5/6. because of things like Mishra's Bauble, for example, because of things like Civil Library, you see more often.
More Planeswalkers.
More Planeswalkers. More people play Urza's Bauble too, or, Embry, those kind of cards. Stuff of the Storyteller. It's just a lot of different card types that just fuel Tarmogoyf, dude.
And battles as well?
Not yet, but they were talking about it. And in fact, like some players even tried out battles in Legacy. I think there was this...
Yeah, one deck I've seen is the deck that uses the battle that basically works like a Green Sun Senate to get Vampire Hexmage into play. And then you can use Hexmage on a battle, and then you get like a giant creature or something, like an 11/11, or if I remember correctly.
It's a big dinosaur or something.
I play that card in Commander.
Sweet.
So yeah, I've died to that thing a couple of times already. So I don't know. Maybe that's a thing now. Yeah. But get ready for the battles.
But yeah, about the event, I'm so stoked to see more than 200 players. Actually, how many did we have?
239.
That is a crazy high number. And like all I could see is that everyone was so hyped about Legacy right now that now that Vibe Plume is gone and Expressive Iteration, like people had a lot of breathing room to just go with old techniques and like old styles. A lot of just hidden gems here and there. It was really...
Dude, honestly, like when you say hidden gems, like we had a deck in the top 4 that's, you might have heard about this, Ad Nauseam Tendrils, and like that deck list is wild. It doesn't show up on MTG Top 8. Maybe they're gonna add it on later. But if you actually go to the website and you check it out, it's Ad Nauseam Tendrils barely, because it plays Grape Shot, it plays Pair of Dice Lost. It goes back to like the old days, like over 10 years ago. Like it plays 2 Chance and 1 Silence for protection, along with some discard. It has a Gemstone Mine in the main deck, which like used to be the Epic Storm thing, like 15 years ago or something, right? But it's basically 4 color because it's splashing that white for the chant effects. And in the sideboard, we see 2 Touch of the Spirit Realm, 1 Shadow of Doubt, and 1 Soul Partition. And dude, I don't even remember what Soul Partition does. I think it removes something from the stack, and then the opponent can, like 2 mana instant, 1 colorless, 1 white, and then the opponent can replay it for like 2 mana more. Wait, Callum doesn't know it by heart?
Yes.
Oh, okay, awesome.
No, I remember saying that I think Initiative might play this, which sounds really stupid now in hindsight.
You guys know the craziest part about this deck list? I think you guys missed it completely, but there is not a single Underground Sea in this deck list.
What?
And that is
good that we have you on the podcast.
That is so wild to me. Like Underground Sea is the dual land for Ad Nauseam Tendrils, and it is completely missing. Instead, you get a Scrubland, a Tundra, a Volcanic Island, and a Bayou. Dude, same thing.
That is so wild.
Honestly, that feels like some kind of challenge. Like, hey, can you top 8 with Ad Nauseam without the basically signature dual land for it?
Yeah, dude.
Is there any Watery Graves?
There's no Watery Graves, unfortunately. Yeah, that was like the first thing I checked. But dude, this deck list is wide. So I know the player personally, Sekikawa. He has been playing Ad Nauseam Tendrils exclusively and no other deck. I've never seen him play anything else for, I want to say like 5 or 6 years at this point. And
the Roman Empire.
And like, if you got only this one deck in Legacy, your deck list might look like this after a while, because like you have literally no other deck you can tune. You have only this 175, so you gotta like have like 10 ideas, and you gotta like just jam all of them at the same time.
But honestly, that's so crazy. Like this mana base, like I'm far from an Ad Nauseam expert, so I'm probably like whatever. But this looks like it's asking for trouble. It's like, okay, basic Swamp, basic Island, basic Plains, Busichu, the Mycosynth Gardens, and then like you said, no Underground Sea, but like this is only 4 dual lands. Actually, I don't want to call it a budget, so it's like still like Volcanic Island, Tundra, but dude, this is and to add to that, like this player went undefeated in the Swiss, right? They went 7-0-2 in the Swiss, so basically 7 wins, then drew twice into the top 8 and lost in the top 4 to, I believe, was it Blue Red Delver? It might have been.
Yeah, lost to Blue Red Delver, which lost then in the finals. But
Kai, help me out. What's going on here? Why do we see a Grape Shot in the main?
Right. So you already touched on a few cards here. So the Grape Shot is there to combat Veil of Summer. Still, like I think that's like some leftover brain damage. I'm gonna say the word again. Ever since they printed Veil of Summer, like if you're a Stone player and you combo out for, it takes you like 5 or 10 minutes, and the opponent taps 1 green forest to cast that spell, you probably want to leave the room immediately, right? Because it is such a bad feeling, and Grape Shot is basically plan B. I think previously we saw a Burning Wish in that slot, which could get a Grape Shot, but overall, like the amount of times where you actually need Burning Wish for a Storm spell was rather rare, and like also having red mana after Burning Wish was also like an issue unless you have like Alliance Art Diamond. So there were a couple of like issues here and there. Grape Shot did a pretty good job just killing random things here and there, and also acted little bit of like a second Tendrils in some games. We all know about like the good old grinding station from 2000.
Tendrils into Grape Shot.
Hell yeah, dude.
Or rather, I guess Grape Shot.
Everyone who knows about like how powerful 2 Tendrils of Agonies are on the stack can probably imagine what Grape Shot does.
Yeah, do you like have enough fast? Yeah, I guess we do have enough fast money. You got 4 Dark Rituals, 3 Cabal Rituals, 4 LED, 4 Lotus Petal. We got a 1 of Mox Diamond, I guess, in the 4-color deck. Not a problem. I like how there's Pair of Dice Lost. Like, it's probably the hardest card to cast in the entire deck. But I wonder if that's a concession to, or rather the lack of Underground Sea is a concession to Pair of Dice Lost, because that card doesn't, I guess it's still casted. It just like doesn't help you with the 2 green. And yeah, that card is another thing that we can't have on Magic Online. Our Eternal Witness here support, Benjamin Kruber actually won the, I don't know what they call it, like the Rosenheim Legacy Battle. And he played a 4-color control deck with Pair of Dice Lost. And I played against him at Etc. last time. And that card was nuts. Like, he agreed it was like very, very much win more at the last time. And he said actually like it actually did something significant and not just win more. But what I totally forgot, like no matter what you like roll, you literally take back all of your lands. And in this deck, you also take back like all of your Lotus Petals, all of your LEDs, I guess. LEDs you will rarely take back. But still, this is... I wonder how legit this card is going to be in Storm.
Oh, it's pretty nuts, actually. Like it's Pass and Flames for LED, so to speak. I think it reminds me of Ill-Gotten Gains a bit, like way back in the day when people had like Pass and Flames for if you have a bunch of rituals, but sometimes you have like tutor and like multiple diamonds, right? And that's when Ill-Gotten Gains kicked in.
See.
So you can kind of do the same thing with Paradise Lost. It's been a while since I cast Ill-Gotten Gains, though.
By the way, we as a community, like the 3 of us, gonna decide that we're just gonna call it like Paradise Lost and not Pair or Dice Lost.
Wait.
Okay, never mind.
Paradise?
yeah. It's
Paradise Lost.
Paradise, yes.
Okay, yeah. It took me like months to actually realize that that's like a play on words.
But even here, like you see in the sideboard, you see like 2 copies of Containment Priest, like the same, kind of like the same read of the 4-color control player who had 2 Containment Priests in the main board, right? I just like every time I see this and then I see the metagame breakdown, dude, it just blows my mind how people have such a soul read in the metagame, playing cards like that. Like playing Hate Bears in Storm is... Dude, that's really deep.
Did people used to play Lavinia for like mirrors and control? But it's a bit different. By the way, in 9th place, there is a Rug Midrange as well, but with 4 Faerie Mastermind. That's
Heck
pretty
yeah,
cool.
Dude.
Oh, dude, and 4 copies of Stifle, 2 copies of Sylvan Library, 4 Daisies. Yeah, this is... It's similar-ish to the first place list, right? It's more like streamlined with what it tries to do. And there's Murktide Regent. Oh, actually, the first deck... the first place deck doesn't play Murktide Regent. That's somewhat lower to the ground then. But I guess Tarmogoyf, you talked about how Tarmogoyf is like easier to like resolve and keep around, whereas the Murktide is a little bit harder to make work, especially in multiverse. Not so much, but dude, I'm just like I'm so much I'm fucking love Tarmogoyf. I want to see Tarmogoyf. Kai, can we interest you like in playing Tarmogoyf on Elves?
Dude, I just bought 2 Tarmogoyfs last week.
See, I can read your minds.
I had to buy them.
Which ones did you get?
Oh, like Future Sight only. Maybe I've never mentioned this, but I only play first print cards. So even if a later print has a better artwork, which I think is mostly true for, especially for like a lot of like secret layer stuff, I love some of those things. But
even for Brainstorm?
No, Brainstorm is the only card that break the rule. It's Mercadic. Dude, Brainstorm, there's only one true Brainstorm though, and it's Mercadic Masks.
That's literally the same for me as well. Yeah, like I'm at the very same exact position. The only exception I make is Brainstorm.
Yeah, dude, no one can stop us.
Was it like D. Terezi or something from Mercadic Masks? Yeah, you know all the artists.
Yeah. I'm similar as well, but I'm getting less. Like even I've got like some new cards recently. I've got Pro Moxes, Ensnaring Bridges, Defense Grids in front of me. I got this week, and always just like I'll even pay a bit more for the original ones and stuff. But Mercadian Masks Brainstorm is where I make exception as well. Dude. It's true.
Awesome.
Okay.
So there's also 2 Blue-Red Delver decks. Actually, there's 1 Blue-Red Delver deck in the top 8, and then I think there's another one close, and there's another one in the top 16. And both of them, they actually play Predict, right? There's this conversation about like Charter Course, Predict, what have you, that's going to fill the slot of Expressive Iteration, or do you just like go faster in the first place and not have these kinds of decks cards? But Predict seems to be popular in Japan. So should Marcos Ewald move to Japan?
First of all, he should, because the food is nicer. But second of all, I think. But those slots, and I listened to a little bit of those like interviews between rounds. Those slots are still a little bit in the air. Like I've also heard a bit of comments about something like a Bone Crusher Giant instead, for example. Yeah, something like that, or even the Bounce Fairy. I don't know what's called, Brazen Borrower. Things like that. Like there's a lot of room for those cards. One thing that predicts really good is obviously just countering Mystic Sanctuary, basically, right? It's one of those haymakers against control where they put a Terminus on top and then you predict it away. It's pretty awesome. But I just don't think that Delver is solved yet. It is pretty much up in the air. Like the second place Blue-Red Delver deck doesn't even play the quote-unquote regular Blue-Red mana base. It plays a mountain and island main and a snow-covered island in addition, and 3 volcanics. No steam vents. Like this deck looks pretty like Blood Moon-ish to me, but there is no Blood Moon. So yeah.
So what's going on? Is the sideboard like super? I guess they have like Brotherhoods and Sulfur Elemental. Oh, they have a lot of faith in Death in Texas. Yeah. Okay, I can see. Like when I played this, I certainly understood why I wanted like the 5th dual rant, which is why people sometimes play steam rants and stuff.
What?
I guess
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, maybe the idea is that you grind them more with Predict, but then again, Predict is just a 2-of, so it's probably not something you build your mana base around. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Right. So there's one deck I want to talk about in this top 8, which just again blew my mind. I think I said it like a million times already on this podcast episode. But on 3rd/4th place, there is a Sneak and Show deck, and dude, you guys gotta like check out those creatures, because that is wild to me. So first of all, like Sneak and Show, pretty much known for like putting big things with Show and Tell into the battlefield. Wasn't with our Sneak Attack, right? There's also like Fable of the Mirror Breaker for some, as like an additional like business spell. But the core is the same. And now we go over the creatures. We got 10 of them,
which is already quite a lot, right?
10 is quite a lot.
The first one's my favorite, but it's all very normal,
right?
Isn't
it?
Totally
so
normal stuff here, right?
we have Emrakul's and we have a Gristlebrand. We have 1 Gristlebrand, 2 Emrakul, the Eon's Thorn. So that is normal. Just that Gristlebrand is a freaking 1-off in the deck, which is wild to me. We have a new Gristlebrand, aka Atraxa, Grand Unifier, as a 3-off, and 2 Archon of Cruelty as a way to kind of dodge Karakas things and also keep the board a little bit under control. And then there is this one superstar in the deck. It's Itali Primal Conqueror. It is basically one of the most hyped new commanders for Gruul.
That's how it's found its way into like the top 8 of the God of Legacy.
So it's a 7-mana 7/7. It's a purely red legendary creature, Elder Dinosaur. And maybe you guys remember, like there has been an Itali in the past.
Has there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've played an EDH deck with that. It's terrible. But
right. Basically, what it does is
it's like a 6-mana 6/6. It's like a 6-mana 6/6, and when it attacks, you get to flip a card from someone's library, and you get to cast it for free. But this one sounds like it's better.
And this new Itali Primal Conqueror, it does it on ETB. So 7-mana 7/7 trample. I mean, don't care about the mana cost. And when it enters the battlefield, each player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card, and you may cast any number of spells from among the non-land cards exiled this way without paying the mana costs. And then it has like some stupid 10 mana activate ability no one cares about. So what I like about this deck so much is that because of Italy, I think this player also increased the creature count a little bit so that he has a better chance hitting another bomb, which is like the cutest thing you can do. And then this guy just randomly, finishes like 3rd/4th in a 239 player event. Dude, I love it so much.
It's amazing. It doesn't say shuffle your library either, so you can brainstorm or ponder an Emrakul to the top and stuff.
Oh, like you're setting it up like a terminus?
Exactly. Italy is just a miracle for Emrakuls.
Oh, god damn it. Dude, I love it so much. Like, I had to... right.
If I lost to that card, I would be like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with the world? But I'd totally like be amazed about this.
Dude, I think this card caused a lot of judge calls, I think, throughout the day.
You know what's funny to me? I looked at the top 8 profiles where people are like, where are you from? What do you do for work? Etc. And then there was the question, which card from the new set are you the most excited about? And literally half the players in the top 8 mentioned Italy, Primal Conqueror. They're like, oh, keep an eye on this. This could be a thing in Legacy. Like, okay. I mean... They put their money where their mouth is.
Right.
At least, Ryota did that.
I mean, it's like a super upgraded Shardless agent of some sort.
Yeah, you'd expect it at 7 mana.
But yeah, dudes, I love it. I said every time we go over Japanese deck lists, especially from the God of Legacy, but dude, Japanese are wild, man, and I love it so much. Like, there's not a lot of net decking going on. People just use the brain, that's good.
This ant list is so wild. It's one of the craziest things, but like knowing now like the metagame that happened, and I don't know, I'm still struggling to get my head around it. It's so cool. I've been really getting the ant vibe recently. I really fancy playing it, and this is just out there enough. It's just crazy. I don't know what to say. I don't know what else to say. It's just wild.
The other decks are also like somewhat out there. There's 2 8-cast lists in the top 8. One of them is somewhat more, I want to say, straightforward. It also has the technology that Kai talked about splashing green for Procedure Who Endures. It also has Choke in the sideboard. Like, okay. Loving that. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Like 3 copies of Mox Opal. I think usually they play 4, but I don't really remember. It also has that, dude, Kai, is that the same player that you talked about? Because I also see the Life from the Loam in the sideboard. This is exactly what he told us.
Yeah, it's not
pretty good.
It's not the same player, but it is pretty much the same deck list from someone from Osaka. It's like they got their own tournament center, but yeah, really, really cool to see that choke tag also.
That's amazing. How do we make this work? I guess we got like 2 Spy out of Industry and no basic islands. So okay. And now here's the second version of 8-cast. It's in the top 8, and this one isn't even 8-cast, right? This is just like 4-cast. It has 4 Thoughtcast, but there's like no copies of Thought Monitor or something in there. Instead, we are going all the way up to 4 Kappa Cannoneer, of course, 4 Emery to Sai, and then we have like Kai's favorite new card in the format. Kai, take us away. What do we see here? We just talked about dinosaurs. Now we got sharks coming.
Now we got those. Not any sharks. We got Phyrexian sharks.
Oh yeah,
Chrome Host Sea Shark, probably one of the most like hyped cards, maybe. People love this type of card, right? Like a 3-mana 2/4 flying. It's a blue creature. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, which you do a lot in Legacy, incubate X, where X is that spell's mana value. And incubating means that you create an incubator token with X +1/+1 counters, and for 2 colorless, you can transform this artifact to a 0/0 Phyrexian artifact creature. So it's kind of like a flying mentor-ish thing with some extra steps, I think.
Yeah. You can get like really big stuff, right? You got Force of Will, you got Thoughtcast. I mean, it also makes sense why you wouldn't have Thought Monitor then, because that one doesn't trigger this one because it's on non-creature spells.
Right.
Is this the real deal? I guess we don't really know yet.
I think we mentioned it on the last cast, but Chrome's Host Sea Shark is crazy good at blocking Delve of Secrets.
Oh, 2/4 flying, dude. The prince that was promised. This is literally everything I ever wanted in elves to be like. Give it reach. I don't even need flying. Yeah, but this is really good there.
I think this card is really good as well. It's been like a slow grower, like realizing what it can do, but it's one of these like it's just powerful enough as like a kind of mid-rangey, value-oriented card that just does enough. And then, as you say, just getting like a Force of Will or a Thoughtcast, getting a 5/5. Cost 2 to flip it over. This is probably overkill, and the other card is not good enough, but I really want to play it with Urza, because with Urza, you play like a Lotus Petal, and then you incubate 1 with 0 counters, but then that's another artifact you can tap for mana, and you just kind of go off and create loads of mana. And so you're then generating 2 offers with these things, and so and then obviously play your Thoughtcast as well. And I don't know if you then play in the LED Echo kind of decks as well, but obviously these decks all just love soul lands as well, and 2 and a blue is the perfect mana cost, as Moonstompy's taught us. So yeah, I mean, I could see more than 2 being just a very good card in these shells, and I could see different flavors of like Blue Stompy come out of this as well, which are artifact based but not as heavy into artifacts as 8 cast, so they're better against Meltdown and stuff as well.
So you're basically like almost like something like Sea Stompy coming back, which doesn't really care about artifact synergies, it's more about beatdown.
Yeah, in a way, I think blue is reaching the critical mass where there's enough things that are good to cast off soul lands. Like you'll play Hull Breacher, the Seed Shark, and then I don't know. I want to play Urza with it.
Do it.
Urza's probably just not quite legacy power level, but I will. Yeah. So there's definitely, I don't know. I think it could also be played in mid-range decks. Just like you don't need soul lands, especially. Like just play it in decks with swords and Force of Wills and cantrips and stuff. And
you can flip the card over at instant speed, right? It doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can do it at the opponent's end of turn. Okay. So
instant speed, and it flips over as well. So like if you cast it end of your opponent's turn, a force on their turn, you untap and then flip it. It's not a new object, so you can attack with it at the same turn as well and stuff.
Oh, dude, I like that this is 3 mana. Like at 4 mana, it would be completely unplayable, but at 3 mana, this is like legit.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I also love that it triggers every single time. And
I really
like
think
the first
so.
time you play a spell. I say that now, like in months from now, I'm like, dude, fuck, ban this shit. Like,
this bloody Seed Shark is ruining my format.
Yeah, this is the future of Legacy. Dude, like flying sharks fighting against dinosaurs that get like emerald cools and stuff.
Heck yeah.
And then somebody's still gonna try to make Nimble Mongoose work or something. I don't know. Somewhere, somebody still has like Japanese foil signed, double signed, triple signed. Like I don't even know who would be the third person to sign your Nimble Mongoose. Like Mark Rosewater. That would be awkward. So yeah, and to round out the rest of the top 8, we got I want to say, rather straightforward Doomsday list. It has a copy of Ideas Unbound, which had fallen out of favor for a while. Is there anything special you see there, Kai?
The main deck is all right.
It's all right.
It's all right. The side,
notice this slight bit of criticism.
The sideboard has like a tech Callum introduced to the Legacy world. I think a couple of weeks ago. It's the Doughty Voidwalker as a 3-off, which I'm super pumped about. Alongside 3 copies of She-Oldred. So like there's so many creatures. Even like Thassa's Oracle, like almost the entire sideboard are creatures. What the hell?
blue black beatdown. Here we go. Like we talked about this a lot, right? I've lost my fair share against these Doughty Voidwalker sideboard decks with Painter, where you sit there and you feel like, okay, I got everything covered, except for like 3/2s hitting your face every single turn.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah, they go like Dark Ritual, Doughty Voidwalker, Thoughtseize Your Fury, and you're just like, oh my god.
Yeah, you taught me that. You taught me to side out the Furies against at least the Reanimator decks, because I kept them in over Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
And so, finalists in the top 8, we do.
Yeah, it's very weird as well. We should cover it. It's a red-green initiative, but like with some weird stuff going on. So it's like 17 lands, which is quite low as well, but like Den of the Bugbear in there as well. But then it has like the 4 Caves of Chaos Adventurer, 4 Unbound Adventurer. But then it has Angie's Ravager, which we hadn't seen this before, and Exocrine, another 140,000 card. So Exocrine is, oh my god, what does it do? See, I need to see.
It's 2 colorless and a red, Exocrine, and X. It's 2/2. And when it enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to each player and each other creature. And it has Ravenous, like if you pay 4 more.
That's wild.
Or 5 more. So it's basically like a Master Mover spell.
So like for 5 mana, it'll be a 4/4, and it'll ETB and do like 2 damage to everything, to each player.
No, for 5 mana, it does like, oh, you're right. It does 2 damage, like it kills itself. Yeah. I'm not excited. Like it's basically the 5th copy of Fury, kind of.
It'll never kill each other. It's kill itself.
Yeah, it kills itself. It shoots X damage to
each other creature. Yeah, it doesn't kill itself.
Oh, each other creature.
Yeah, okay. I mean that'd be freaking be freaking stupid.
No, but it also comes into play with 1/1 counts on it where X. So if it's X is 2, it'll be a 4/4.
Oh yeah. I totally misread Ravenous. Like I thought Ravenous only did something if you pay 5. Yeah. But no, you're right. You can actually grow. Oh yeah, so it's never really gonna kill itself anyway.
This is decent. This is not bad. When like this deck creates so much mana with so much fast mana. Cool. I love it.
You're just saying that because it's a Warhammer card.
The rest is fairly... Yes, 100%. I even have an X-Screen model. It's yeah.
I love the Chandra Awakened Inferno on the sideboard.
Yeah, like the Chandra Awakened Inferno is like just in case if any sicko shows up with like a super slow blue-white counterbalance predict control deck, you know, they gotta get their asses whipped with Chandra Awakened Inferno.
You know what I want to see? I want to see like a situation where the Tiger Initiative player plays the Chandra, resolves it because it's uncounterable, +2s to give the control player just one emblem for 1 damage a turn, and then it gets hydroblasted, and that emblem still wins the game in the long run. I want to see that.
Okay.
Yeah, that card kills pretty quickly. Like I assume you would have something out like Chalice maybe, so there's not going to be any blasts flying around. So this is just like, this is insane. Like, yeah, you're never going to get to... I was going to say, can you prismatic ending it? Yeah, it's 6 mana, probably not. You need to find another color, I guess. But overall, I'm more on the side of like white-red initiative. But yeah, this made top 8. It's not bad.
Yeah,
I guess that's what I want to say.
Get your X screens now.
Yeah. I wonder how many people actually misread that card, because I tried to read it to you and I made 2 mistakes on describing the card. It doesn't shoot itself and it grows, and I missed both of those. I'm a horrible player.
Should feel bad.
Well, actually,
X-Screen's coming to get you.
I kind of feel bad. I'm feeling pretty sick today. That's why I think we're going to close out the podcast soonish. Guys, do you have anything you want to still talk about right now? Or are we going to call it a day here?
I mean, now that you ask like that, I think we can call it a day.
Dude, yeah, seriously, like, I'm the worst host ever.
It's all good,
the most leading question in the world. Like, Julian, actually, I wanted to talk about this for another hour. Be my guest now, seriously.
Well, I do want to talk about the intricate sideboarding discussions of no, I'm done.
Or maybe one little shout out to Dukes on Twitch, who I saw in Japan that same weekend. First of all, dude, I hope you had a blast in Japan. I sent you this link to like my favorite curry rice restaurant in Shibuya. He went to it like straight away. Looked pretty good. And also he attended the God of Legacy for the first time. I don't know exactly what his final record was, but I like how faithful. Oh, 5-4. 5-4. Okay, 5-4. Yeah, that's not, for the first time it's not too shabby. A lot of people go 0-3 drop. Anyway,
did he play Maverick or did he play Naya?
Yeah, dude.
Because that's what the big thing he was talking about.
He sticked on to Maverick, and I saw some feed artisans here and there, and awesome. I like how Dukes is so consistent with his deck choice. I even remember like his poll like a week or two before, where he asked Twitter if she should just stick to Maverick like he always does, or play something else. I don't know exactly what the second deck was, but
Naya Depths.
There you go. Which is objectively a stronger deck, maybe. But like this top 16 deck list shows you that you can pretty much win with almost anything, dude. Even with Italy. Dude, yeah, like Italy is such a big meme. Holy shit, dude.
Wait, is that meant to make Dukes feel better or worse?
For better. That was at least my plan.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that Duke should probably just add Italy to his Naya deck.
I feel like Kai has probably like bought 100 copies of that dinosaur, and he's hyping it right now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much mana is it against 7?
It's 7 mana.
Yeah.
And then it has some crazy activity.
Yeah, it is totally castable for sneaky.
Yeah, and then it has some crazy activated ability for 9 mana combined. From 9 and a
9
Phyrexian.
And green Phyrexian mana, yeah. And then you get to do something even crazier. But yeah. Okay. With that, I think, guys, we're going to call it a day. We'll be back next month. Until then, if you want to support the running of the show, hit us up on patreon.com/everydayeternal. Leave a review, 5 stars, hopefully, if you like this, on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Or check us out on our social media presence. We are at EternalMTG on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, with that, big shout outs to everybody making this cast work, especially our Eternal Tier Witness supporters, Salvatore Orico, Tommy Hinks, Testacular, Sebastian Hollager, EM, Sean Dewey, Francis Cooper, Cassandra Davis, Benedict Gruber, and Severin Schwarzhuber. And our Vitali, what's it called? Dinosaur Tier supporters, Victor Bernards, Bachi Butts, Scott Monroe, Jeremy Gates, Tom Hepp, Andrew Whitman, Kane, Ian Seyfeld, and Fritz Sternert. Thank you so much, everybody. we are going to be back next month. And if you have any questions about Impact Returns, how to get there, how to hang out there, which tournaments to play, just hit us up. We'll be happy to help, and it's going to be amazing. Everybody, see you. Have a great evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Until next time.
See you guys.
Ciao.